between 38 and 4,800, and let's see if we can find a tax record. We have 633. Let's hit details. Here's the tax records that you need to print out, and I want to show you just a quick thing here. So here's the property address, and here is the name of the owner. Well, it's actually a corporation, but we're going to pull it up anyway. So you're going to go from left to right, and you're going to right click and hit copy. We're going to go back to our form. We're going to right click and we're going to hit paste. Okay, then we're going to go back to the MLS. This is the property address in Sunrise. This is the owner's address. They live in Kendall. So we're going to highlight this from left to right, copy, go back to the form, right click and hit paste, space, go back to the MLS, Miami, Florida, right click, copy, forms, oops, wrong one, right click, paste. Great. So now instead of filling and typing all of that information out, tenant, you should need to type that in yourself. That's going to be Jane Plain of the address. Don't need to put telephone numbers in there. Now we're getting to the property address. We're going to go back to the MLS. The property address is this right here. We're going to right click. We're going to hit copy. Go back to forms. Right click, hit paste. Now 31914 Northwest 90th Ave. Well, obviously it's a little bit out of place, but we can just fill it in. Unit 3914 is the same as the address. Now we got city, state, and zip. So let's go back to the MLS. We're going to go Sunrise. Right click, hit copy. Paste. Now again, we're going to copy this, hit delete, come here, paste, county, Broward. Okay, now here we go. Deposit receipt is Power South. Oops, trying to type too fast. Is a real estate brokerage and accepts, and that we're telling them that received. I'm going to have a price here of $1,200 is the rent. Property used for residential, and we're going to have 2 adults and 2 children and no pets. And it's going to be furnished. And again, it's very self-explanatory. And it's going to commence. Today is October 5th. We're going to go October 15th, 2012, and ends. It has to be 1 day. So OCTOBE, October 14th, 2013. It's going to be seasonal of $1,200 a month is what we came up with, times 12 months. That's going to be a year. Obviously, if it was seasonal, you would put 3 months, 6 months, whatever the case may be. So 1,200 times 12 is going to be $14,400. Whoops, I'm putting it in the wrong place here. Payable monthly in the beginning of on the 15th day. 15th day, if you want to because it's starting on the 15th, you can have it the 15th of the month, or if you're going to do it on the 1st of the month, you're just going to have to prorate the first month's rent, and that's going to be always prorated by 30 days. But we're just going to make it really easy, and we're going to start it, and they're going to be paying the 15th day of every month. First month's rent is $1,200. Security deposit, or I should say the last month's rent, is going to be $1,200. Deposit's going to be $1,200. Application fee, if the association has $100 or $150, we're going to put that information in there. If there's a common area deposit, a lot of times the owner will pay for that. if there's a deposit for garage doors. And here we go, we have the pet, if it's refundable or non-refundable. Now again, sales or tourist tax, if it's 6 months or less, is counted as a hotel, and the owner has to pay sales tax or tourist tax. And this is where you're going to add up the total. So 1,200 times 3 plus $100 for the application fee. The total money due is $3,700. Now remember, we have a deposit of $1,200 that we first got. So we're going to subtract the $1,200, and the remainder that they're going to be paying is $2,500 to be able to move into this rental. The security deposit of $1,200, we don't hold the security deposit. It's going to be held by the landlord. Okay. Now we're going to scroll down. Now this is something that we can't type in or make check marks, but this is something after we print it, we're going to take our pen. Real estate taxes, obviously, is going to be paid by the landlord. Personal property is going to be paid by the tenant. And again, if it's a sales or tourist tax, who is going to be paying for it? It's usually the landlord, if it's a short-term rental. Utilities, self-explanatory. Tenant pays that. Electric, gas. Now, if you're in a condo and it includes in the maintenance cable, water, sewer, trash, then of course you're going to put landlord, because they're the ones paying the maintenance. Pest control, if there's pest control, yes or no. Pets allowed, yes. The type, pit bull. AC, maintenance, landlord. Building exterior, landlord. Building interior, I usually put tenant because it's their responsibility to maintain it and to clean it. Grounds and planting, depending if it's a house or a condo, you guys make that choice. Pool equipment and taking care of the pool, if there is a pool, or if it's an association, click it. Personal property is going to be paid by the tenant. Public liability, the landlord. Fire, landlord. Flood, landlord. Furnishings, tenant. And association fees get paid by the landlord. So wanted to go over that really quick with you. Again, the tenant has previewed because you're showing them the property. Time for acceptance. So today is a Friday. I'm going to probably give them just a day or two to give me a time. I'm going to have their check. I'm going to have the picture of the family. I'm going to have their credit report. I'm going to have all my forms filled out. I'm going to email it to the other real estate agent. And then it's their responsibility, hopefully, to get this signed back within a couple days. And again, talking with the agent, the owner's out of town, he's on vacation, but make sure you communicate with them, and then you can come up with a time. But again, just a couple days. This should be, again, signing the lease, and should be a day before. You can put the day of moving in if it's October 15th. This spot really doesn't matter as long as it's before the move-in date. And any special clauses. This is where you'd say professionally cleaned, or we want the carpet replaced in here, or we want the cabinet fixed, or we want the appliances were missing, the washer and dryer, we'd like the landlord to put in there. This is where you'd put the special clauses and what are the things that you want the landlord to do for your tenant. And again, we kind of went over the professional fee, and this is where the firm name of the cooperating broker, which is us, Power South, and phone number, and this is for beachfront. I think that's the one that we're using, and the listing broker. Tenant signs it. So let's go on to the next form. This is the tenant information sheet. This is what you're going to need to send them to. This is for your client to fill out. Their name, driver's license, date of birth, combined income, who else is occupying. Because remember, anybody who's over the age of 18 probably needs to have a credit pull too, and maybe even be on the lease. Reason for moving. So this is something that you're going to give to this prospective landlord for them to do investigation of calling their references, calling their place of employment to verify that information. So this is something for them to fill out and to sign. Make sure it's completed. Let's go to the next form. Transaction broker. Remember, there's 3 ways to represent somebody: single agent, transaction broker, or a non-rep. Again, I know that they are trying to get away with the transaction broker. I still like to use it, letting them know that we're not working for them, or fiduciary responsibility, that we're working for the transaction. So just in case you're showing one of your own listings or one of ours, we have no problems. Get this signed. This is an internal form that goes in the folder. And this is just another trust account deposit form, a blank one, if it needs to be to another title company or another real estate company. All right, well, hopefully that helped you out when it came to filling out the form. It shouldn't take you more than 20-30 minutes sitting with your clients, typing it in, filling it out. And good luck,